things of that nature. And we actually had another avant-garde series, hops and elderflower, but it was seasonal and we've since sold out of it. So we keep kind of rotating them. So yeah. When it's not the pandemic, we're typically open for samples and tours. Right now, we don't yet have a cocktail room. We were hoping to launch that in 2020, and then 2020 happened. So hopefully one day we'll have a cocktail room so that you can go drink a beer at Urban Growler and then stumble down the road and have a cocktail or vice versa. So we're hoping to add a fun, cocktail room to the neighborhood. So we'll get there. We have been offering cocktail kits. I don't know if any of you were able to snag we did offer the Eggnog Kit, where we basically include everything, the booze, the cream, the milk, the nutmeg, the sugar. We'll do some more after the new year. But something so you don't have to try and source everything all over town. We do it for you. And then we just recently launched, they're called Infusion cocktail kits. So it's this cool jar, basically with a mix of spices and teas and fruits and things of that nature. You basically put it in a tea bag, pour the whiskey or your preferred spirit in the jar, and it infuses it with some fun flavors that you can then just drink neat or on the rocks. Or of course, we love to mix into fun cocktails like cocos and punches and warm teas. So lots and lots of things to, I had heard that Sabrina was having a bad day. So we can make your day much better with lots and lots of options. So we do have an online store right now that you can pre-order and then come pick up. Our last days before the new year are Friday and Saturday, or by appointment if you're trying to sneak in before then. So come see us. So today I wanna make eggnog for you guys. It's super easy to do. I know everybody buys it just in the carton from the store, and it's full of things like partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. And it's like, where did we get away from just making eggnog? It's one of the more easy, simple things to make. So let's do it. And we can do it in lots of different ways. I've kind of Martha Stewarted it and kind of pre-made stuff. So we've made it really easy for you. But eggnog is basically just, 5 simple ingredients, 4 depending on what you want to do. But for us, we do it for 2, because drinking eggnog alone, unless you have to, isn't nearly as fun as drinking it with somebody else. You can obviously have this recipe if you just want to do it for yourself, or keep it as double and have 2 servings because it's that good. So what you're going to need is just a cup of heavy cream, and then a 4th cup of sugar, which I have just heating up on the stove back here. Need to make sure that I'm not burning it. And then you add just an 1/8 teaspoon, which is just a pinch of nutmeg to add some spice. And you're going to want to slowly heat that up just to make it nice and warm. You could also drink your eggnog cold like they do from the grocery store, but I think that warmth around the fire or snuggled in front of a movie is what makes it extra fun. And please feel free to jump in if you have questions or comments or, no, that's blasphemy, you have to put this in your eggnog, please let me know. So what I'm going to do is it's going to get a little loud, so I might put myself on mute so you don't have to listen to my blender, but I'll explain what I'm doing before I do it. My blender, I've just added 2 eggs. People get nervous. They're like, oh, raw eggs, that's really scary. Well, the whole idea is that the hot milk will cook the eggs to make it safe for consumption. And the reason you blend it is so that when you add the hot milk, you're not making basically sweet scrambled eggs. That would be disgusting. So if you don't have a blender, you just need someone to whip the eggs really quickly while you pour in the hot milk. But if you do it right, the eggs should whip, the hot milk will cook the eggs, and you basically make this like frothy, milkshakey deliciousness. And then once that's done, I'll tell you how to spike it or not, depending what you want to do. Traditionally, we make it with our bourbon whiskey. You can totally make it with the rye malt. I think the coffee and chocolate would be great if you're a sweet tooth. I actually love the masala chai because the chai's got lots of spices in it anyway. It's got things, like I said, cardamom, ginger, even like a nutmeg-like note. So it just adds that extra spice that, especially if you're a big store brand eggnog person, it just like adds a lot of those mixes. So we'll blend, we'll pour, we'll add some booze, we'll drink. It's seriously easy. Again, ours is for 2. You could tone it down. I've made really big batches with my big Ninja when we've got, 8 or 10 people over. So this is something really simple that you could keep the eggs already in the blender in the fridge, have your milk ready, and as soon as everyone gets together, pull it out, blend, and even on demand, it's pretty easy to do. So questions so far?
I didn't know we were allowed to have 8 or 10 people over.
Well, once the restrictions are lifted and y'all have your vaccines and it's safe to do so next year, right?
Shelly, are all your mixes like in store, or do you need to order that online first and then pick it up, or
So
what's the
there's a
best
lot
way?
of options. That's a great question. Thanks for asking, Nancy. So Minnesota state law allows people to buy one 375 bottle per person per day. So all the flavors you see here, we do have at our distillery. We do offer our bourbon and our rye malt only at about 125 different liquor stores around the state of Minnesota. So I know it's overwhelming. So you can go onto our website. Someone graciously threw that in the chat. So thank you for doing that. And you can type in your zip code. I know the search function's been a little wonky. So if you're having issues, email me directly. But typically it pops up the closest liquor store to you. And so I know places like Total Wine and France 44, they're delivering. For us, if you order ahead of time, you can just pick it up right at the distillery. You get to set your day and time. And again, if it's not a Friday or Saturday, you can do it by appointment. We had someone stop by today who couldn't come this weekend as they were heading out of town. So we try and be flexible for you. Does that answer all your questions? Perfect. More questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question, Shirley.
Yeah.
So when I go pick up this bottle of whiskey from your place, it's always full. But when I send Deb, for some reason, it comes back only half full. Is that concerning at all, or?
No, we sell Deb special bottles of half full whiskey just for her because
She has rosy cheeks when she gets back here, so I don't know, maybe.
It's a long, cold walk between the distillery and the brewery.
It is, definitely.
This is why, we keep going back and forth. So I'm going to quick put myself on mute so you don't have to listen to my blender, but you'll see me blending. I'll pour the cream in, and as soon as it's done, you should blend the eggs for about a minute and add the cream slowly. So talk amongst yourselves while I blend, okay?
Shelly, real quick, I noticed you have a nice, beautiful Ninja blender there. I don't know if it's one of those heat cool ones. You actually warm your milk separate or your cream separately on the stove top. You don't actually utilize your blender for an all-in-one.
I am not that fancy. Mine is not a blender that heats, unfortunately. Okay. And you wouldn't be able to heat the milk. And then, so you want to whip the eggs
again
before you add it. So you could have like 2 blenders, I suppose.
Okay.
But just a little milk on the stove, or you could use that like a crock pot or something if you don't have appliances, if you're at the office or something.
Thank you.
Great question. All righty, here we go.
So while Shelly is doing that, I did throw her email address in the chat. So if you do have any questions about Studio Distilling, please feel free to email Shelly. She's very easy to reach, and I'm sure she'd appreciate hearing from you. It's nice that she can display a few different kinds of the Studio Distilling bottles there, including that chai one. That's great. We're going to have more blender time, Shelly. Here we go.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Question, just a kind of an industry question. It seems that it's cheaper to buy products from like a Total Wine than it is to go to the brewery or the distillery to buy the same products. Is that just my sense, or is there a reason for that? Or
Deb, is it cheaper to buy from Total Wine than other places?
Well, then they come to you directly and buy it. So like I just look at the Studio Distilling. Because I was looking at, it's like $39 for a 750 at Total Wine, and it's $25 if you go buy one at their location, right?
Oh, I see.
And I don't know what the beer is like, but it always seems like the beer is like cheaper. Like, I guess my question is, are you required to sell to them at a lower cost, or how do they? Like, I would think it would always be cheaper to come directly to the brewery or the distillery and buy them.
With breweries, it's the thing that's unique is we can't sell 16-ounce cans. We can only sell crawlers or growlers.
Yep.
So we are not really in competition with liquor stores. But as far as pricing goes, everybody gets the same price. That's a law. So what we sell it to them for, right? So we sell all our
it to all our customers at the same price. Maybe that wasn't the question, but
It's up to them how they want to price it.
No, that's what I would agree is that like I can't sell these big ones at the distillery. I can only sell the little ones.
Yeah. And that
So-
doesn't make any sense, but that's a.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
It's not your doing. I totally get that, but I'm just saying those are some of the simple laws that we got to figure out how to change.
and I can't set the price. So Total Wine could sell my product for $2,000 if they wanted. I don't get to tell them. I sell it to them, hoping they'll price it at a certain point.
Yeah.
But you'll see it anywhere between $32 and $42.
Yeah.
So just, depending who's on sale or who, has a little bit higher margins. So, yeah. We always say, buy your first bottle at the distillery, come talk to us and sample and learn. And then obviously support your local liquor store because we got to keep them in business because they also keep us in business. And if you're in the neighborhood, obviously swing on by, but we understand if you're in Woodbury or if you're in, Plymouth, and maybe you don't want to drive all the way to St. Paul to pick something up, but supporting those local liquor stores helps too.
Perfect.
So I'm not sure if you noticed what I was doing, but so after blending, we poured it in. And so what you can do if you have a big adult party, you can then add your whiskey of choice, or if you're from Wisconsin like me, brandy, although Studio would never allow brandy and eggnog. But we'd say about a half a cup. So it's about 2 ounces of spirit per serving. If you're like me and you have a lot of little ones and they want to get in holiday fun, but you're not yet serving them whiskey, you can also individually portion it. So you saw I added the spirit to this one, but not to this one. So this one will go to my nephew and this one comes to me. You can also say, I want brandy, I want bourbon, I want masala chai, so you can mix it up. But that in essence is eggnog. As we're sitting here, I know it took a couple minutes to pour in the milk and crack some eggs, but it's literally a 5-minute cocktail that is just so, for me, nostalgic and delicious. And right now I feel like we have to do stuff to treat ourselves. So cheers, you guys.
Cheersies. I don't have anything.
Thank
So
you,
sorry,
Shelley.
while I was blending, I couldn't hear you. So did I miss any questions that Jill was graciously answering on my behalf?
No, well, you already actually answered a little bit at the end there. So that was the big question on the pricing between going to a liquor store or buying it at the source. Anything else you want to add, Shelley, on the process, or does anybody have any questions for her? So you've got a few different bottles shown here. How many different bottles do you have right now in production that people can get?
So these are the 4 that we currently offer
Okay.
for sale. The 5th has since sold out. We always have new ones coming though. So we have a new avant-garde series that is going to be an Earl Grey tea whiskey that we're really excited about. We've actually started partnering with a liqueur company who we're contract making their spirits. So it's their recipes, but we'll be bringing them to market. So we're really excited about that. So there'll be lots of fun cocktail collaborations with them. So lots of new stuff happening for us in 2021. So we hope to see you all. And thank you. I know there's been huge support from the St. Paul community for us local brewers and distillers. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very, very much and happy holidays.
All right. Well, thank you, Shelley. Jill, are you ready to show us the beer old fashioned?
Yes, Deb is going to do the beer old fashioned, and I threw in another one, but it'll be super quick.
Sounds good.
All right.
Hello, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Deb.
Can you hear her okay?
Good enough? So I'm gonna make a beer old fashioned. So, we like traditional drinks, but there's also a different twist. You can make a traditional cocktail with beer for something that's a little, maybe if you want to have a little more, but you don't want to end up face planting. So I'm going to do a Kentucky Uncommon beer old fashioned. So Kentucky Uncommon is a beer, but it's made with a lot of the ingredients that go into bourbon. But rather than getting distilled like Shelley and Brad would do at Studio, we ferment it. And
Studio?
they distill it at Studio. We don't distill, we ferment and serve. So this is a crawler of Kentucky Uncommon. And a crawler is perfect for two servings of a beer old fashioned. So what goes in it? Half the crawler, Need your trusty bitters. 6 dashes of bitters. Or so. Now, you can use simple syrup. And if you don't want to use simple syrup, you can cheat a little and use Sprite or some kind of sugary beverage, but homemade simple syrup is the best. So about 2 teaspoons of that, 1, 2. You can see I measure very closely. And then for the old fashioned, you need some cherries. The Luxardo ones are excellent. So a little cherry, and then you're gonna get some of that cherry juice. It's a little bit of cherry sweetness. You're gonna mix that in there. And then twist of orange. And I just drop it right in there because I like it like that. Now, if you really wanted to, you could add ice, which is oh so wrong in so many ways with beer. But if you're doing a beer cocktail, that's A-okay. So this is my beer old fashioned. And it's just a different take on beer. You can make it sweeter if you want. You can make it more bitter if you want. Our chef Jim would sit here with this bottle of bitters for about 20 minutes, putting bitters in. But whatever you like, you get to tweak it.
Okay, that's awesome, Deb. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
okay.
coming. Okay,
Bye, everybody. So
Oh, yeah.
here's the
you want to
recipe.
take a picture, or I will email you. If you can't see it, I will email this out if you want this. And we have at its regular price. So I am going to make the cider cocktail. And we have now bottles of hard cider and Honeycrisp apple ginger kombucha. So you can get these 2 bottles for $35 and the little accoutrements, cinnamon sticks and dried apples that plop in the drink and add a lot of good flavor and visually beautiful. So I'm going to just take 2 ounces of cider. I have the Pepin, whoops, I have a leaky bottle. 2 ounces of the cider. Here we go. And then you'll have your bottle of, we'll do the kombucha, 2 ounces of the kombucha, and it's delicious on its own as well. And then 2 ounces of our hard seltzer. And then if you were here, I would wear gloves, but you're not, so I'm not. I am getting the apple and the cinnamon stick, spew that through there, set it on the edge of the glass, and it's really beautiful, fun, and delicious. And you can get this for 35 bucks, and we'll make it cute with a ribbon. And we have our holiday, if I could add, we have a holiday meal that you can pre-order by December 20th. And it's a spatchcock chicken and vegetables and arugula and all ready to go. And you just order it by the 20th and you pick it up on the 23rd for $85 and it feeds 4 people. So any questions at all?
Jill, can you mention where you can buy the crowlers of Kentucky Uncommon?
At the brewery.
Just at the brewery for that one.
There's a handful of liquor stores that will have crawlers, but mostly 16-ounce cans of our beer. But restaurants, we're the ones that carried crawlers, but there's no restaurant selling our beer right now. So we're your best option, and that's best for our pockets as well. Because we make more money if we sell it directly from the tap room. And it's, you know, I know there's a lot of COVID fatigue out there, but we're optimistic, absolutely. But this last December has been horrible. January is looking to be really awful. But we're going to hang in there, and the chamber has been amazing in so many ways, sharing our posts, coming in here, ordering. We are so thankful, like Shelley said. Well, I I'm just glad we're in this city. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else during this pandemic. So we're very, very thankful. So I will drink to all of you in the St. Paul Midway Chamber.
Do you recommend a particular brand of bitters?
Deb, you like this brand, don't you?
Well, there's a lot of good local bitters. And when you do a old fashioned, you can even get orange flavored bitters. And Shelley might have some other opinions. This is what we had at work.
Can you see it?
Mhm.
This is what we had at work. At home, we have a variety of different bitters. Like, because we drink at work all the time. Kidding.
Yeah, I think bitters is personal, and what's fun is someone mentioned in the chat, there's a million different flavors. So from traditional, like your Angostura or your Peychaud's, which are more herbally, you can do flavors like cherry or orange, or so something fun with a Kentucky Uncommon if you wanted to highlight certain flavors or not. But they do get crazy, and there's a lot of local companies between Bitter Cube and Dashfire. So you can spend a small fortune on bitters and have a lot of fun with them.
Distillery question for you, Shelley. When you distill or you do a batch, how many liters does the average batch yield?
So
Well, maybe it's not liters, or I don't know the unit of measure you use, but
no, that's a great question, because all of our equipment is European, but then the feds do it on gallons, the
Yeah.
state does it on liters. It's all very confusing, and I have to get out my calculator quite often. But when we do a batch, it starts with about 800 pounds of grain and about 1,200 liters of water. So it's a very big mash tank, not nearly as big as what they have over there at Urban Growler, but still bigger than what you can put on your kitchen stove. And by the time we get through the process and distill it, it gets down to about 20 gallons of 120 proof whiskey. So to put it into perspective, if you were gonna make a home brew of about 5 gallons of beer, you'd be lucky if you got about a 750 of booze. So it's a lot of liquid going into a little bit of concentration. So that's why spirits are so expensive, is it's basically compounding a bunch of beer in whiskey's case.
thank you.
I have a question for Urban Growler. Are you guys going to be able to do some dining outside or inside, or with the new lift?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that question, Chris. Starting Saturday, the governor has approved outdoor seating. So we do have picnic tables. We will have fires as we are able. The wood is extremely expensive, but if people come up, if you want to bring your own firewood, you're welcome to do that. But we will absolutely, we'll still treat it like takeout. Instead of running it to your car, we'll run it to a table outside and you can take it to your table. So if you were here this summer, you know we've got a lot of space. We're not in the parking lot right now. It's just the beer garden, but I don't anticipate that filling up. But boy, that would be a welcome problem.
Chad, Monday looks like a fairly warm day. Maybe we should have like a little chamber get together.
We're closed. That brings up another good question. Chris, you want to know our hours? I hear it really is what you're asking.
Yes.
We are closed Mondays and Tuesdays. And in January, we will be changing our hours, shortening our hours to conserve cash, to be perfectly honest. We'll be open Wednesdays, 4 to 7, Thursdays, 4 to 7, Friday, noon to 7, Saturday, noon to 7, Sunday, noon to 5. So, and still closed Mondays and Tuesdays. So don't forget about us, even though we might not be open as many hours.
Well,
Just a quick question. I know obviously the distillers are trying to get some legislation pushed through to help expand our ability to sell things. I know the brewers have been working on trying to get can sales. Has there been any movement for you guys? What's the status on that?
Didn't pass.
Okay. And are they not hearing anything until the new year, next year sometime?
Maybe. We're hoping, but I think that's twice now. It's been struck down.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. Yeah, it is unfortunate.
And then
Doesn't make any sense to me.
no, it doesn't. And that's a whole other topic. And we would love to be supportive of any initiatives that either the spirits industry or the brewing industry has that they want to bring forward to us, because we definitely want to change some of those laws. So we know Jill's hours. Shelley, what hours can people stop by Studio Distilling?
Yep, so Friday from 4 to 6, Saturday from noon to 3, or appointment only. So you literally email info@studiodistilling.com. The email comes to me, and then I look at my calendar and your calendar, and we figure out a time. So really any time, as long as we're both available.
All right. All right. Well, what other questions does anybody have? All right.
We heard of two like really awesome holiday drinks, but really what are everybody's individual favorite holiday drink? Like at my house, at our home, my family does like a mulled cider, like a warm red wine mulled cider drink that my aunt always makes. I don't know exactly what's in it. It's like a warm wine, but that's a traditional holiday drink that I absolutely love and look forward to, and we are able to get together in those big family gatherings. That's my go-to for a holiday drink.
Who else would like to jump in?
I'll add, so long time ago, my dad was big on making like those frozen like grasshoppers. You know, this was all and there was like a liqueur, golden Cadillacs, right? I mean, he'd have that blender going all the time.
Yeah, we were grasshoppers too, our family. Even the little kids got grasshoppers. With the booze, yeah.
I grew up my family's from Wisconsin, so yeah, that enough said. Yeah.
I like cowbell. It goes great with turkey. It's just amazing together.
Jameson, sweet.
We have to get restocked. We made a pit stop a week or two ago, and all that's gone. So now we gotta come back.
Well, thank you. We feel the love.
We often do rum and eggnogs. Actually, when we just discovered dark and stormies again, which has been an interesting holiday drink. So
Tell people what's in that, Chris.
What is in that? Yeah.
So it's we actually have a great Barbados rum, and then it's ginger beer, and you can also add some lemon or lime if you want. But yeah, so it's ginger beer and rum, and I like it in a little copper cup because it just makes it have a little bit more of that feel. But yeah, so it's a great drink. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot.
That sounds good. What's a good ginger beer that you guys know of? Do
Well,
you guys have a recommendation on a good ginger beer?
I can't help you with that. I don't like ginger, so I'm not able to answer that.
I cheated and I was at Costco, which got me thinking about having dark and stormies again, and they had a ginger beer on an end cap.
Oh.
And it's a very good ginger beer, and so, but it was what got me thinking about it. I'm like, I haven't had one of these in a long time, and we went through a case of ginger beer fairly quickly. So
Was that in the grocery or in the liquor? The ginger beer at Costco?
grocery, yeah, right in the
It was in
grocery.
grocery. Okay.
Yeah, it was on sale, no less, right? So it was like Costco, right? So
It's probably gone now. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I bought 2 more cases because it was going so fast. So at least in our household.
That's good marketing.
Yes.
Well, I remember, speaking of cocktails, you remember growing up, my parents would have the Tom and Jerry's mix, which is the basically like an eggnog. They would break that out around the Christmas and New Year's. I remember they'd always have that with their friends on New Year's. I'm more of a beer drinker. I like to have old fashions and some cocktails and some wine, but it's a good time to drink beer too when it's cold outside. You have the darker beers, which are always good. And Jill, you guys have had some good ones in the past. Are you doing any of this time of year right now?
Yeah, actually, our oatmeal stout will be out next week. So
Good.
we'll be crawlering that. And then we're doing a higher ABV IPA in January.
Oh,
So
good.
like, which is unusual for us to do a big beer, but it's going to be like close to 9% alcohol. And I think 80 IBUs. So it's very bitter.
What kind of IPA is it? Do you know?
I don't know what it is, but Deb just let me know that this is coming. It's coming sooner than I thought. So I'll get
Great.
more information.
I'll for
That'll
sure
be
be
the
trying
end of January, I think.
Okay, good. I'll be trying that.
All this talk about ginger made me realize I sent Chad and Anna late this afternoon. You know, I had forgot there was a potential for a gingerbread contest, and I kind of was a little bit delayed in it. I don't know if you can help me share my screen, but I was going to show
Oh,
everybody
sure.
what my late entry was here.
Yeah, you need to share that. Okay, I think you should have capabilities now.
So here was my late entry for my gingerbread house contest. Can you all see that? So there was the Tanya Bauer entry for my gingerbread house contest.
Tanya, I had no idea you're such a literal thinker.
I must have misheard because I thought it was a gingerbread man making contest.
Oh. Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, fun.
Well, and we were talking about Christmas movies. We had Nancy with the coffee mug from A Christmas Story. Anybody else have any favorite holiday movies they want to share?
I have a really random one, but we grew up with a Dolly Parton Smoky Mountain Christmas. And like, it doesn't exist. And I found a random copy on VHS, like on eBay. So I'm very excited about that.
We used to watch that one too.
Great. I like that you went off of the usual ones too. Well, good. Well,
There's
any
another
other-
one.
My
there's
brother
another-
and I, oh, sorry.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
we lampooned Christmas Vacation. My daughter still to this day splits a gut during that movie, and for some reason, specifically during the blessing, when the aunt stands up and does the national anthem or something for the prayer. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but it is. It's hilarious.
I thought about that movie today because I was on a Zoom call earlier and somebody had changed their screen name to Clark Griswold.
Hey, can I ask somebody to do a favor so I can share this on Facebook? I can't see myself on the screen. Could someone take a picture of the computer and send it to me so I can share it on Facebook and say that we did this?
I just took a picture of you, and I took a picture earlier when Deb was there holding the crawler too.
You
So
got it. Okay.
I'll make
Thanks,
sure to
Ted.
send them both. And Shelley, I got one of you too.
Great. We'll share those on. If I could get Shelley's too, I'll share that one.
And,
Yeah,
and Jill, tag us in it so we can share it as well.
yeah. I'll send it to all the
Yeah,
attendees.
I'll tag the Midway Chamber.
Great. And then Andrea, were you going to say something before too?
Oh, just that I'm from a small town in North Dakota, and our cable company every year at Christmas is always playing Dirty Dancing. And so that's kind of our Christmas movie.
It's great.
I know Nancy asked about the polar bear vest, Jill. Did you get that recently?
No, this is old. I got this
Oh.
at Menards like 8 years ago. I didn't know if you could see it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a favorite. Whenever I would go to nursing homes, it would got a lot of smiles when I visit friends in nursing homes. So I don't think it's ugly. I think it's cute.
It is cute.
That's
Sorry to hear it's so vintage because I was going to run out and get one.
Well, you might be able to find it.
Menards probably still has it.
Menards.
They don't change. So Chad, December 30th, 30 degrees, 4 o'clock.
December 30th. That's a Wednesday. Oh yeah, absolutely. Jill, you might have to get some visitors on December 30th.
All right, I'm ready. Wear your Carhartts.
You can go see Shelley.
We won't be
Yeah,
open
that's
Tuesdays, but if
exciting
you're gonna
too.
plan it, I might open doors just for you.
We'll do a little buying spree post-holiday.
There you go.
Like it.
Well, I hope both of you guys get, you know, the state has passed this recent help, and I was just on another chamber that I'm on call, and I know some other groups are putting together some funding for people in the hospitality business. So I hope you'll get some of that, and I hope it's enough, because we really want to see all of these businesses make it to June or whenever it is, when we can be everybody going and enjoying the way we were enjoying, you know, 12 months ago. So it's important to us as chamber people, but it's important to all of us as just residents and citizens here to see you guys survive. And you know, I think I speak for, you know, a lot of people, but you need to really make sure you let us know how we can help, and keep getting that message out there and reminding people to come and support your locations and your businesses. I know when we were going through the Greenland stuff, every little bit helped. And so, you know, people think my little purchase doesn't matter. If everybody spends 20 bucks or 50 bucks or whatever it is, it all adds up, and it all gets you closer to surviving and thriving down the road. So let us know what we can do to help.
Thank you. This was very sweet. A nice way to start the holidays.
It was a lot of fun.
Right.
I guess I need to polish up on my Christmas trivia. I have definitely taken to that.
Well, I'm glad I found that one, because there was a hard one. There were not a lot of easy answers. There were really no easy answers in that one. So I'm glad.
That's what I get for watching too much PBS.
Paid off.
Great. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. And I'll send out a follow-up email to attendees with some of the information that we just talked about. So if I don't see you between now and Christmas, have a good Christmas. And hopefully we can see people on December 30th at Urban Growler.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
fun.
studio. Then walk to studio.
Walk the
There you
studio.
go. Happy holidays,
you,
everybody.
everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.